Don't see it. Jamie Carragher hands Man United major warning on potential Casemiro replacement. Manchester United are tipped to recruit in midfield during the summer transfer window, with Casemiro earmarked for the exit door at Old Trafford. Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher has warned Manchester United and other interested clubs to avoid signing Everton midfielder Amadou Onana in the summer transfer window. United were first linked with a move for Onana at the beginning of the campaign as they looked to add options to their midfield. The Manchester Evening News understands United are continuing to monitor Onana, along with Everton teammate Jarrad Branthwaite. Erik could be heading back into the race to sign a defensive midfielder this coming summer after Casemiro's form dipped dramatically this season. Beyond Casemiro, the Reds have been light in the defensive midfield area of the pitch this season and could reinforce their midfield options when the summer transfer window opens, with the Brazilian having been tentatively linked with a potential move to Saudi Arabia. In January, as Everton's financial fair play (FFP) woes deepened, Arsenal and Newcastle United were heavily linked with Onana's signature, but again the move did not come through. Still, the Belgian did little to impress at Stamford Bridge on Monday night as he was hauled off at half-time during Everton's 6-0 defeat to Chelsea. Reflecting after the final whistle on his performance, Carragher slammed the midfielder. He told Sky Sports, Sean Dyche, picked out a couple of players he brought off at half-time. He mentioned the central midfield players. I actually think James Garner has done a good job for Sean Dyche since he's been there. But I must say this, Onana is a player who Everton may have to sell with the situation that they find themselves in financially. He came in with a huge reputation. Frank Lampard brought him in, he looks the part, did really well I think for Belgium at Wembley, and there was talk of him going to other big clubs. I don't see it. I haven't since he's been there. I don't know what he is. Is he a holding midfield player? Does he get forward? Does he get involved? The only thing I have seen him do is try to lift the crowd. That is all I ever see him do when he plays for Everton. Man United are getting what they expected from Rasmus Højlund, but that makes next transfer decision impossible. Rasmus Højlund had found his feet at Manchester United, but he has struggled again since returning from injury and has been a peripheral figure in recent games. When Rasmus Højlund scored both of Manchester United's goals in the 2-1 win at Luton Town in February, his stock had never been higher. After a tough start to life at Old Trafford, breaking his Premier League duck had opened the floodgates, and a double against the Hatters made it 8 goals in as many games. But then came an injury and a month of inaction, and as quickly as he went from cold to hot over Christmas, his temperature plummeted once more. It is now 405 minutes without a goal since his return, and more concerningly, there have been just 3 shots in that time. In his spell of looking like an unstoppable Premier League striker, between Boxing Day and February 18, Højlund had 16 shots in 8 games, but his barely influenced recent fixtures and United's results have turned in accordance with their £72 million striker starting to look goal-shy once again. Højlund played the full game in those successive draws against Liverpool and Bournemouth, but didn't have a single shot and managed 60 touches across 180 minutes. Bruno Fernandes is picking up the goal-scoring slack for now, but United need Højlund to catch fire once more. Not only is it essential that the club's leading striker scores goals, but with Anthony Martial leaving Old Trafford this summer, a new striker is towards the top of the shopping list in the first window under the influence of Ineos. If Højlund remains in a funk and continues to look like a striker capable of going through streaky spells of good and bad, then the dilemma of the profile of forward to sign becomes more of an issue. During that midwinter spell, Højlund had started to look like the right deal. He began to lead the line with the quality as well as the confidence of a United number 9, but it has to be a concern that he is struggling to maintain that kind of form. With potentially 8 games of this season to go, United will want to see a return to that level. Goals from Højlund will help in a battle with Newcastle, and potentially Chelsea, for 6th place, and they could be vital if a spot in the FA Cup final is secured. But they would also allay any fears of needing another elite striker to help score the weight of goals expected next season. In a summer when United are set to miss out on Champions League football and continue to balance FFP issues, they could do without the requirement of buying a proven goalscorer. In spending £72 million on Højlund last summer, that is what they hoped to have got. United always accepted that the Dane was a work in progress, and there have been times when the potential has looked ready to blossom. Now in springtime it needs to do just that. This season isn't without mitigation for him either, given how poorly the team has played at times. The 21-year-old looks to have what it takes to carry the pressure and the burden of being the main man at United. Erik Ten Hag has lauded his bravery and character this season, and during his run of goals, he revealed what Højlund was like when things weren't going for him. "I can tell you it's not easy for a striker when you have high expectations from yourself. Also the outside world has high expectations to fulfill that when it's not working," he said. "That is the character every striker needs. He gets angry, he gets mad when he's not scoring, but that's why we selected him. He has the resilience and the calmness to perform under that stress. That stress will have started to return now, but Højlund has already shown once that not only can he overcome it, but that one goal can lead to a hatful." Finishing the season in that style would be beneficial for several reasons. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is facing a problem the Glazers have never had at Manchester United. Erik Ten Hag's position as Man United manager is becoming more and more uncertain, meaning Sir Jim Ratcliffe may be forced into taking decisive action. Following Saturday's 2-2 draw with Bournemouth, Manchester United have a maximum of 8 games left this season. For Erik Ten Hag, they could well amount to his final 8 games as United manager. The weekend stalemate at the Vitality Stadium was another mark against his chances of keeping his job beyond the end of this season. As a result of Aston Villa's 2-0 win at Arsenal on Sunday, United are now 13 points shy of the top 4 with just 18 points to play for. The Champions League theme tune will almost certainly not be played by the Old Trafford compare next season. With United's Premier League campaign now in danger of petering out, there is also a danger the Europa League theme tune will not be played either. The Reds have won just 1 of their last 7 Premier League games and are winless in 4. Though Ten Hag still has a chance of winning a second trophy in as many seasons at Old Trafford, it is becoming increasingly hard to argue against Sir Jim Ratcliffe not making a change in the dugout. Ratcliffe, who secured minority ownership in February, has wasted no time in making sweeping changes in the boardroom, meaning it would be no surprise to see him make a change in the dugout. As reported by the Manchester Evening News at the end of February, Ineos have already analysed potential replacements for Ten Hag. Based on what has happened since the March international break, you cannot blame them. Since the pause, United have played 4, lost 1 and drawn 3. If they don't get their first post-international break win on the board against Coventry City at Wembley, it will be nigh on impossible for even the most staunch Ten Hag supporter to continue backing him. While results, of course, are the bread and butter for any manager, it is United's performances throughout the season that have asked the most questions of Ten Hag. It is no secret that an unprecedented injury crisis has played its part in the club's regression, but it was clear from the very start of the season that something was not right. Everyone is aware of the bombardment United's goal is constantly under, with Bournemouth's tally of 20 shots meaning they have now faced 107 in their last 4 matches. Ten Hag has played that concern down while Diogo Dalot contradicted him when asked about the problem. Based on United's uninspiring style of play and their worsening performance levels, it is beginning to feel inevitable that Ratcliffe will decide to make a change. But if Ratcliffe does decide to pull the trigger, who does he turn to? It is a question nobody has an immediate answer to. There is not an obvious, standout candidate. Gareth Southgate has been heavily linked with the post, but is not worthy of commanding such a high-profile position, despite his good work with England. Roberto De Zerbi is yet to prove he is qualified enough for the role. In the past, United, when deciding or needing to make a change, have had their ducks in a row, instantly being able to appoint a big name, such as Jose Mourinho or Louis van Gaal.